everybody to a late night edition of Alexandra Mayers Live. It's late and I don't really know what I'm doing up this late right now because I do have work in the morning, but I felt inspired today, incredibly inspired, because sometimes you just have some revelations and you look back at your life and you think to yourself, I get it now. I see now what I did not see before, and I understand exactly why I was put into certain circumstance to witness certain things and experience certain things so that later on I could relay them not only to you, but I could hopefully educate the public a bit to where the world can be a better place for the children and the youngsters coming up, because we have to improve this world at least a bit. Tonight we're going to talk about pimps. We are going to talk a lot about pimps that are linked to the adult entertainment industry and some tough pill to swallow realities about why they're getting away with it and how they're getting away with it and what you and I can do to stop it. Now, as many of you know, on my most recent webcast, I announced the launch of a new website, a very informative educational resource called pimpwikileaks.com. But visiting that website is not enough. I really need all of your help when it comes to my assistance with that venture, because already certain nefarious powers that be within the adult entertainment industry are working diligently to figure out how can we shut that site down. What can we do? Well, right now there's not anything that they can do. However, when it comes to certain social media venues, they're definitely trying to shut that down, make it inaccessible. So I need as many people as possible to follow the Pimp WikiLeaks Twitter account. Okay? Please follow at Pimp WikiLeaks. Very important. I've never asked many of you for much of anything over the past few years, but this is something I'm asking of you. I need your support when it comes to Pimp WikiLeaks. I really need your support because we have got to get the word out about the reality of the danger of sex trafficking and pimps within the adult entertainment industry and outside of the adult entertainment industry too, because I want to rid the entire world of pimps. I believe it's possible. Everything's possible. Nothing is impossible. That's why you have the word possible in the word impossible. Because if you can conceive of it in your mind, you can manifest it into reality. And it's time to take the power away from these pimps. And I'm going to tell you a few reasons why. You know, you have a lot of porn stars, not just active, but ex-porn stars who are consistently complaining. Never mind, I've complained about these things for years, and I don't know whether it's because of my complexion or because of other things that nobody wanted to get on the Alexandra Mayers bandwagon. But let's go ahead and talk about something that a lot of porn stars don't want to admit to themselves. But it's the truth. Porn stars are always complaining. Oh gosh, I'm knocking on so many doors in mainstream Hollywood, but I'm not getting a chance. Wah! Why's that? Oh, there's so much stigma attached to being a porn star. Nobody wants to give me a chance. Oh no. Even though I've retired years ago, I don't get any residuals and everybody knows I'm a porn star. In fact, I can never not be a porn star because my porn never goes away. I'm forever a porn star. Wah, wah, wah. Complain, complain, complain. Bitch, bitch, bitch. Well, porn stars. Did it ever occur to you that much of the problem that you have doesn't have to do with the legal act of doing porn? It has to do with your damn associations with illegal, criminal, unethical pimps. pure scumbags, the degenerates of our society that have many of you porn stars fooled into thinking that they're professional businessmen and they're not. They're nothing without you. Nothing. But for the most part, most of you porn stars are too stupid to realize it, and that's the reality. Everywhere I look in the adult entertainment industry, blogosphere, and news outlets, you see top-notch porn stars to where if they didn't have pimps, perhaps they would achieve that mainstream Hollywood acceptance. But right behind them, you see some scumbag. And you know, here's something I've realized about the racism in the porn industry. Let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. You know, I saw a Twitter account tonight that was complaining about the Pimp WikiLeaks Twitter account. And they were saying, first off, they thought it was Monica Foster behind that Twitter account. It's not. Monica Foster has been retired for years. In fact, many individuals, pimps mainly attached to the porn industry, have gone to great lengths to make it clear that the world knows that Monica Foster failed out of porn, which was one of the best things that could have happened to Monica Foster and the woman who created her, yours truly, Alexandra Mayers. But let me tell you, that Twitter account was complaining to Pimp WikiLeaks, saying, oh, Pimp WikiLeaks, but of course they thought it was Monica Foster. You're just trying to stifle and ruin something for the porn stars. It's like, no, bitch. Because I know who's running that Twitter account. And I'm not talking about the Pimp WikiLeaks one. I'm talking about the one that was complaining about the Pimp WikiLeaks one. The person who's running that Twitter account is a pimp. And they want to be able to jump on the bandwagon with the rest of the porn stars into mainstream Hollywood. In fact, let's say prostitution is legalized in California. Do you realize that there's a lot of pimps who want to be able to be classified as sex workers because they're porn star managers? And that way they can continue to beat their hoes and claim sex worker protection. And say, oh, well, I'm a legal business person. I'm not a pimp. I'm not a sex trafficker. But that's the reality. But getting back to the racism in the porn industry, this particular Twitter account was talking about, they were saying that the porn industry was discriminatory because they were discriminating against HIV positive individuals. We don't need to be worrying about the HIV positive individuals when you talk about the porn industry being discriminatory. Because the porn industry is extremely discriminatory just against African Americans. Since when have African Americans in the porn industry received equal pay to their white counterparts? If that's not discrimination, I don't know what is. I mean, if you want to expand that to include the HIV positive people, hey, that's the truth. Because on the gay side of porn, you do have HIV positive people shooting. So why should it be any different on the straight side? Everyone should be using condoms and barrier protection anyway. Truth be told, they shouldn't be doing it at all. But, you know, can't be a hypocrite when you're talking about workplace equality. And that's what we're talking about. But now I want to talk a little bit more about the racism in the porn industry. Do you realize why escort agencies and prostitution agencies get a free pass in America, at least the ones that feature the majority of porn stars? Would you really like to know why? Because they are controlled by individuals who enjoy the element of white privilege. That's why. That's why. It's funny, I was thinking today about just the years of stalking I've dealt with, you know? And it wasn't any black guys doing it. It was all individuals who enjoy white privilege, wasn't it? Sure as hell was. It sure as hell was. And when I think about my interactions with various pimps, when I was active in the porn industry, and I never had a pimp, at least not to my knowledge. But I think about some of the men I was dating, and I'm not going to say who I'm talking about tonight, but I'll never forget someone that I was dating for a while. We went to a party. We're sitting in his damn SUV. We're getting ready to go into the party. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. He's sitting in the driver's seat. And he looks at me and he's like, oh, shoot, I didn't bring any, I don't have any cash because we were going into a bar, right? And I'm like, oh, don't worry, I got cash with me. And I give it to him and he's like, yeah, I feel like you're pimp tonight. He won my pimp. But you know what? When I really think about certain business opportunities that were granted to him because of his association with me, in a roundabout way, in his mind, he might have been. And that is why, until the day I die, and not just because of that particular instance, but because of quite a few damn things, I will make tremendous efforts to inform as many people as possible about the white privileged enabled pimps attached to the Los Angeles porn industry and the American porn industry. I'm just not going to stop. In fact, tonight I decided to work on a song. And I've decided to title this song, White Privileged Enabled Pimp. And while I'm working on this song a little bit, make sure that all of you do follow on Twitter, at PimpWikiLeaks. Because when I'm talking about the pimps, I'm not just talking about the illegal pimps, I'm talking about legal pimps too. Because there's a certain legal pimp that has a real problem, and he wouldn't have his job if it weren't for white privilege. No way in hell. No way in hell. So that's a problem in America. It's something we gotta fix. First I'll read the lyrics to you, and then I'll work on the melody for a little bit. Probably not going to stay up any more than an hour, but here's the lyrics to White Privileged Pimp. Or I'm sorry, White Privileged Enabled Pimp. And remember, you can learn more about pimps on PimpWikiLeaks.com. We've got a problem in the world today. Too many girls and women are being led astray by promises and dreams of things that ain't what they seem. Stories told by men overtaken by greed. She thought he loved her. She thought he cared about her too. She told him, I'll move all the way across the country just to be with you. She thought he thought highly of her. She thought he'd leave the smut business for her too. But little did she know, he just kept her around for show, and eventually he'd turn her out too. He was nothing but a white privileged enabled pimp, trolling on the internet with a virtual limp. He pulled so many girls just like her, lied to so many girls just to like her. He was nothing but a white privileged enabled pimp, trolling on the internet with a virtual limp. He'd sold off so many girls just like her, caused the suicide of so many girls just like her. But he didn't care, 'cause it was all, always just about him. That's the truth of the mind of a pimp.